House of Dragon's production's been going on pretty swiftly for a while, and many leaks have already made their way out in public. Even with so much leaked information, HBO stays silent and hasn't confirmed or denied any of the news. On the other hand, fans want to know more, especially about the casting. So, to help satisfy your curiosity a bit, we've gathered some information, and here's what we know so far. First, when's House of the Dragon releasing? For instance, it's impossible to give a specific release date for the Game of Thrones prequel because HBO hasn't announced anything regarding the release date yet. However, what we do know is that fans will get to watch the show somewhere in 2022. Even though the production for the prequel only started last spring, the process has been pretty fast, and we should get a fixed release date by the second half of 2022. But we still can't be sure as the pandemic is still there, and it can end up delaying the release. It has already shut down the production once after one of the crew members was tested positive for COVID-19. Because of this, having a film debut date is unlikely, and we don't see a confirmed release date from HBO anytime soon either. So, what about the cast of the House of Dragon? Casting for the prequel started in July of 2020. However, some roles were still open for casting. Patty Considine was cast for the role of Viserys I Targaryen in October of 2020. By December 2020, Aemond Targaryen, Matt Smith, and Olivia Cooke joined the show as Rhaenyra Targaryen, Daemon Targaryen, and Alicent Hightower, respectively. Danny Sapani is also a part of the show. However, the role is still unspecified. In February 2021, some more names were added to the main cast of House of Dragon, including Steve Toussaint, Rhys Ifans, Sonoya Mizuno, and Eve Best. The casting didn't stop here. In April, Fabian Frankel took over the role of Sir Criston Cole. By July 2021, Graham McTavish, Millie Alcock, and Emily Carey were also added to the cast. With most of the roles now covered, fans were wondering who would be playing the role of Ellyn Baratheon. For months, there was no news regarding the casting for the role. However, recently it was confirmed that Laura Lake would be playing the role of Ellyn Baratheon. Next, who is Ellyn Baratheon? And is her role a major one? Ellyn Baratheon is probably a significant part of House of the Dragon storyline. She is Lord Borros Baratheon's daughter. Lord Borros has 4 daughters, including Ellyn, and they are collectively known as the Four Storms. The biggest scene of these sisters starts somewhere at the start of the Dance of the Dragons. The Civil War results in the pitfall of the Targaryen family dynasty. After the Civil War properly begins, Aemond Targaryen comes to the Lord Borros of Storm's End in hopes of securing his allegiance, who agrees to the allegiance on one condition. Aemond is asked to marry one of the 4 Storms, preferably Ellyn. Just like that, Prince Lucerys Velaryon, who, like Aemond, also has a claim for the throne and wants to secure Borros' allegiance, arrives at the Storm's End. This is when things get awkward. Ellyn appears again by the end of the story, where she attends the coronation of King Aegon III Targaryen, along with her sister, and is later put forward to the potential bride of King Aegon I. We are not sure how big of a role Ellyn will be, but we know for sure that when a story goes on, every single character, no matter how minor, counts. What's the plot of the prequel ought to be? As a prequel to the famous series Game of Thrones, the House of the Dragons is set around 200 years before the Game of Thrones starts. The show is adapted from the book Fire and Blood by George R.R. Martin, and the book itself tells the history of the Targaryen, so that's what the series is about as well. In the show, fans will see the brutal civil war between Rhaenyra and Aegon II after the death of Viserys I. The siblings will fight for the throne, as other houses such as Lannisters and Starks will be siding with either side. This series will also show the extinction of the dragons, which will only return after Daenerys Targaryen hatches 3 dragon eggs 200 years later. While watching the teaser of House of the Dragon, one can get the hint of the action that's expected from the upcoming prequel. The teaser also shows a Game of Thrones style sword, characters running down the hallways, fighting and jousting dramatically. It seems like the whole purpose of this teaser was to make all fans curious and whet their appetites with some major story reveals coming up in the future. What to expect from House of the Dragon? Putting the question in easier words, or if there will be something similar to it. Glad you asked. Even as a prequel to GOT, the show will still have a lot of differences and, of course, its own unique style. However, the creative team of House of the Dragon wants it to have the feel of the GOT, as the film director, Miguel Sapochnik, said that they think they're being respectful towards the original show, GOT. They don't mean to fix anything as nothing was broken anyways. Neither are they trying to reinvent anything. He added that the prequel has its own tone, but it's important to pay homage to GOT on whose shoulders the prequel will stand. It shows that House of the Dragon is not meant to be a copy of Game of Thrones, but the team wants the essence of Game of Thrones to be there in a respectful manner. This way, fans will get to watch something similar but completely unique all simultaneously. Keeping up with the uniqueness and still getting the GOT feel in the show must have been a challenge, as Sapochnik also confessed to telling a prequel story in a way that is different from the original show that fans have watched over the years. He also added there's no way the Game of Thrones can be recreated, and sounds absolutely true to us. Any other Game of Thrones spin-offs coming our way? After the last season of Game of Thrones aired, HBO has announced several spin-offs of the show. HBO is actually busy producing these announced spin-offs, meaning they kept the promise. But of course, these can also be rumors, as once again, HBO never denied or confirmed anything, except for the production of House of the Dragon. Here are some spin-offs that we should expect. First, we have 9 Voyages. In March 2021, news about HBO producing a GOT spin-off called 9 Voyages broke out. However, when asked about it, the HBO representative gave 0 comments, leaving fans curious whether the news was real or just a rumor. If the news is real, the story of the 9 Voyages will be focused on the Sea Snakes, aka Corlys Velaryon. The Sea Snake was the greatest seafarer of Game of Thrones' 7 Kingdoms history, and surely deserved his own series. Next up, Nymeria series. Another GOT spin-off that is reportedly under development is set around 1,000 years before GOT's storyline happened. According to the news, the series will follow the story of Princess Nymeria, who was an ancestor of the House Martell. If you remember in GOT, Nymeria snakes and Irya's direwolf, then you must know they were named after this specific Nymeria. Reportedly, the working title for the project will be 10,000 ships. The title is named after the move when Nymeria had ordered to burn all the ships after her army traveled Dorne, and turning back wasn't possible. Now we have the Tale of Dunk and Egg. Set 90 years before the events of GOT, the Tale of Dunk and Egg is another prequel that HBO is currently working on or will start working on in the near future. According to the reports, the prequel will be based on one of Martin's novellas and tell the story of Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire, i.e. Dunk and Egg, respectively. Next up, an animated series. This one project has been under 100 covers of secrecy, and according to rumors, the animated series is in progress. However, there is zero information about the series setting, plot, or characters. But if the rumors are true, an animated version of Game of Thrones can literally be the best thing for GOT fans. Lastly, the Flea Bottom series. Another one we know about, the Flea Bottom series reportedly set in the King's Landing slum, Flea Bottom, is also under construction at HBO's production factory. The plot of the series will deal with the incident in Flea Bottom, where the poorest people of Westeros live. We're not sure whether to ask you guys to wait for all these projects or not because there hasn't been any official news about them. But keeping up good hopes is always a good thing, and we wish for all these spin-offs to be real because we just can't wait anymore. For now, this is all, and we all have to leave. However, while you wait for House of the Dragon, why don't you share your views about this upcoming show in the comments? Sounds good, right? We'll be right back with such content soon. Till then, goodbye!